Hi, it's John McCann from Stan James. We're going to preview this weekend's Premier League action. Here I am in front of the Barcelona Spanish department here at stanjames.com. Barcelona 2-1 to retain the Champions League crown, and also 4-5 to regain their La Liga crown. The Whites are 10-11, what of course is a match, but more of that. Let's go on to this weekend's Premier League action. Begin at St Andrews, where Birmingham 11-2. They've only lost twice at home so far this season, and I think it's to Bolton and to Villa against Arsenal 8-15. Remember, no Thomas Vermaelen in that. I hope Arsenal go all the way, but again, I'm not convinced. Maybe 8-15. It wouldn't surprise me if that get a draw. I wouldn't think many goals in that. 3-1. Bentner going back to St Andrews. They thought an awful lot of him there. Chelsea 2-5 against Villa. Villa falling apart at the seams. Probably unlucky, maybe an exaggeration to say that, but 2-2 against Wolves and 1-1 at home to something probably not Martin O'Neill had in mind when he wanted that in that fight for the fourth place. And when you think what happened to City last night, it wouldn't surprise me Liverpool stumble over the line for fourth place, I'm afraid, given Spurs, of course, Spurs after Saturday when they play entertain Pompey. And you'd have to say that if you have a look at the fixtures, that's the last really sort of easy, in inverted commas, fixture they have. Hull 7-5 against Fulham 15-8. Fulham, of course, have been on the road and they've had that wonderful epic win against Juve, and since then, of course, they were beaten midweek 1-0 up against Spurs and conceded 3 second half goals. Must-win game for Hull. So fair to say that Ian Dowie wasn't first choice selection, managerial appointment, but after 89 months, it looked a wonderful decision. Of course, after 91 minutes last weekend at Fratton Park, it looked anything but. This really is a game they've got to win with relegation, Premier League relegation in mind. We paid out on Portsmouth, of course. Burnley 1-10, Hull 1-2, West Ham 5-2, and Wolves 7-2. And West Ham, Hull and Burnley all have must-win fixtures this weekend. Spurs, I think, 1-4. I think they'll win, and they're involved in a mythical match bet, which I need to point out because I think it's a really good bet. I think Spurs 10-11 to score more goals than Arsenal. Arsenal 2-1, and the draw 3-1. I think Pompey, again, they conceded 2 goals at home to Hull. They conceded 5 at home to Chelsea midweek, and I think they'll concede quite a number at White Hart Lane, especially with Bentley back and Pavlyuchenko coming back, and I think Spurs will put on the style, and I think with that in mind, I think Arsenal will settle for a win at St Andrews. And again, as I say, only 2 teams have won. I think that 10-11 for Spurs in a mythical match bet against Arsenal is worth taking. West Ham 11-10, fickle game football. If Scotty Parker's shot just before half time had come back, had gone in off the post rather than come back, and Hanneman made an excellent save. Who knows what happened at Upton Park? As it turned out, Wolves were excellent in the second half as well, and Mick McCarthy, one of the managers of the year for me. 11-10 for West Ham. Stoke 5-2, 12-5 to draw. Wolves, Everton are now too short, 11-10. We beat Man City last night, but at the City Manchester Stadium. But this is very, very ordinary, very poorly managed as well. Manchester City side. I wouldn't be back in Everton 11-10. I fancy the draw there, 23-10, 0-0, 1-1 on that occasion. Bolton Man United, again, United too short for me at 5-1. Do check out stanjames.com. We've got some Rooney specials. Blackburn versus and to go to Turf Moor, another must-win game for the Clarets here. There'll be plenty of black pudding being thrown at each other on and off the field, but I just think 6-4 for Burnley, 7-4 for Blackburn. Again, Sam's got his points in the bag, and really this is a game that Brian Laws and Burnley must win if they have any chance. I don't think they've got chances. Odds of 10-1 on would suggest. Liverpool 130 on. We've got a special market for that game live on Sky on Sunday. How many goals will Fernando Torres scored? None. 10-11, 1, 15-8, 2-9-2, or a 3 or more, 12-1. Again, I think that's a bit of an insult because I think Sunderland are progressive. They had their terrible winter blip, but I think John Mensah, the Rock of Gibraltar, and also Michael Turner, I think a decent central defence, and Craig Gordon, of course, has come back and he's been in excellent form. He missed, of course, 2 months of the season. Man City versus Wigan. City, if they want to finish fourth, they've got to get the points on Monday night. And remember, on Monday night also we've got this fascinating game in the Championship, 8-11 Newcastle. I think they'll win. I think that's a decent point. Forest, okay, they're decent on the road, but not great on the foot. It really has been their form at the City ground which has kept them in the Championship race and the race for promotion. It looks as if now I think that the Baggies will finish second, and Newcastle United will be crowned champions of the Championship and will go up automatically. And I think if they win on Monday night live on Sky Sports, I think 8-11 is a fair value. I think they'll have 1 foot in the Premier League. But we've got very many must-win games. Man City, we've got Hull, we've got West Ham, all Burnley, all have must-win games this weekend. But one bet for me: Tottenham are home to Portsmouth, 10-11, to score more goals than Arsenal, their North London rivals, away at St Andrews. I think that 10-11 is a fair price. Be lucky.